Hello, welcome to JIBRIN Angle on Weleke TV. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. Thank you for joining me once again on this monologue. On this monologue, I shall be talking about something that is very unusual of me. I'm more of a political and current affairs person. I don't things that has to do with lifestyle or personal lifestyle or whatever. I don't so much speak interest in that. However, I just think for the benefit of some people who may be having one doubt or the other, I think I just decided to do this. It's about people relocating abroad. I've actually watched so many come in contact with so many. I've come in contact with so many videos, short videos, long videos on how people discourage, how some people are discouraging others from actually relocating abroad. And some of those videos, I honestly, I consider them selfish. I consider some of them um, shallow because you don't use, I don't believe in this life. My thought has always been, my philosophy about life has always been individualistic. I don't use one brush to paint everybody or one situation, one brush to paint every situation. That is what I don't do. Now, this issue of abroad, look, my dear, if you have your way to relocate, if you are not doing now, the reality is if you are not doing well, wherever you are struggling with life, if you are struggling to make ends meet, if you do not have any better option, honestly, and you have the means to relocate abroad, go ahead and do it, my dear. Because no matter what, we as human beings, we always strive to get to a point where we are better than where we are. We are better today than where we were yesterday. We strive to move, take a step further into greener pasture. We may be where we may be standing on a green pasture, but we will always strive. That is humanity for you. We always strive to step into a greener pasture. And that is just it. But there are some of us who don't even, some people who are not even standing on a green pasture. Your pasture probably is completely brown or whatever, or dry. In that level, in that situation, in such situation, of course, you really, you have to desperately strive much harder to move out of that, at least make this next step to into something that looks like green, then the next step again that eventually looks green, and then the one moving forward, a greener pasture. So that is just it. Now back to this issue of some people discouraging others from traveling. Look, just like most people have noted who have experienced it or who are experiencing it, um, nothing comes easy. Not only abroad, even in Nigeria, nothing comes easy. Nothing good in life comes easy. Prosperity does not come on a platter of gold, even for those people who are into rituals. There is nothing but the armed robbers to get that money. It takes courage, it takes really strong courage to be an armed robber, to go rob, pick up arms to rob people. So even at that, it doesn't come easy because it comes with risk of being killed, risk of being jailed, risk of so many things. Sort of. So even the ritual people, money making people or whatever, it's also a risk. Nothing comes easy. You can't get anything good on a platter of gold. Life generally is not butter and bread. So we have the same situation in Nigeria as we have abroad as well. So you, wherever you are and you are not getting better, strive hard to move to the next level, to move to the wherever you decide to go to. At least It is better you try and fail than not to try at all. So please don't disregard everyone or anyone that is going on social media to discourage you. Some people, you see them posting video of how they were suffering under snow, how they could not walk because there was snow, how the weather was harsh, or blah 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 blah, or an extreme cold weather that they find it difficult to actually tolerate, or so many are the difficulty in securing white collar job or good well paid job or whatever. So many dynamics here. Look, my dear, it is everywhere. It is even in Nigeria. It is in Africa. It is everywhere. So, but I keep telling people something. Don't use one brush to paint. And look, like some of us, when we relocated. Someone like me, I relocated with my family not because I desire to stay abroad. I've always been the type that dreaded staying abroad. I didn't like it. I dreaded it. I had opportunities much earlier in my life to actually relocate abroad, and I refused. I remember my parents, my mom, to be precise, we discussed it several times and how whatever. I said, mommy, I'm not ready. I don't like the life abroad. Let me be frank with you. I'd rather just travel for vacation and do one or two things and come back, but not to reside there. So I've never had, even up till now, I still do not have that. Even though I am relatively living a comfortable life where I am, there's no doubt about that, doing well. I still, my mind is still back home. Let me be frank with you. So, and that is just, I've not, my mentality have not changed. My idea have not changed about that. But the thing is that people like us, we left because things kept getting worse. For someone like me, I left because I just needed to leave. Things got, I didn't, I've been traveling to different countries even before I left. Finally relocated to the US, traveled to several other countries. I remember the last trip I made to, is it Japan or thereabout, or Taiwan? I spoke with my mom while in the hotel, and I told her I was going. I think she asked me something. I said, "Don't worry. When I come back, I'll be coming back next week. When I come back, I will have a disc." She wasn't happy I was coming back. She said, "Are you coming back?" I said, "Why won't I come back? I'm coming back." For God's sake, yeah, I understood why she was so concerned about that, because at that point, I was beginning to struggle. I was struggling with my finances. My business wasn't doing well. Things has deteriorated a sort of. But I said, no, whatever. And eventually, when I came back, I remember people were not happy that I came back. Some of my relatives, my family, especially my mom, was not happy that I came back. And so that is how much I dreaded, I just not dreaded, I detested residing abroad. I love my country, I love my environment. Let me be frank with you. And that is just it. Um, but eventually it got to a point, it got situation got so bad that I now I just discussed with my family and my wife and told her, look, um, it is time, we just have to. I didn't expect to do that, but I honestly, it was a very, very bad situation. Then, and it took me time to really do this. So then we decided to relocate. And we relocated. So for some of us, all those experiences, and to God be the glory, those experiences people usually encounter when they are outside, new in an environment. Honestly, we did not encounter that a sort of, and it's been God's grace actually, and that is why it's one of the reasons why I don't. Look, this is why I'm telling this story, because I want to. I said earlier, you don't use one brush to paint all situations. In our own case, my situation wasn't that bad. Beginning, starting all over in the US wasn't that bad. Honestly, let me be frank with you, and that's why for so many years I've been here. I was telling someone, he was surprised. I have never, ever, ever boarded a commercial bus, not once, not once, because I came in here. I started. driving. Immediately I bumped into, like they say, the person you meet when you arrive in an environment, new environment, the person who welcomes you or the person you meet, the first person you meet will determine how fast you will grow or how slow it will grow. And that's exactly what happened. So, to God be the glory. Probably I met the right people, and as a result of that, I just had a car to start my movement and other stuff or whatever. From there, one thing led to another, and I started business, became a contractor, and also some other things or whatever. And that is just it. And that is why I am making this video to encourage people. Look, don't listen to people. If someone did something and failed, it doesn't mean that that is a standard. No. Go ahead, follow that same path. Everybody, I always tell people have different measures of grace. Some people have higher grace than the others, some have lower than the others. And that is just the reality. And this is one of the reasons why I have never copied anyone. I do not copy anyone. I don't envy anyone. I will never envy anyone, because growing up, I learned very, very early in my lifetime, growing up, that some people do some things. I remember as a student those days, I lived a very decent life, not because I wanted to live it. I tried doing all those crazy stuff that students do. Skip. I actually in my secondary school I attended boarding, so we have people sneaking out of the true fence, go for party, do other stuff, all those some crazy stuff we do, all those youthful stuff, whatever. Honestly, I realized in time I was so sensitive enough to realize that those are not my stuff. There are people who do so many things they go scot away, they go scot free with it, they get away with it. Teachers don't catch them, the principal they don't get. And but if I tried it once, they will people. So I realized in time very, very early in my life that people I don't if I do something that others did, I'll be caught for it. But the others who have been doing it probably all their lives, they were just doing it going scot-free. So, and that made me to stay away from crime, stay away from bad lifestyle or whatever. Like I was telling someone, I have never clubbed in my life, I never drank, I never smoked, and whatever. This is the reason, because I was so sensitive. God gave me the grace to be sensitive, to understand my destiny early in life. So I stayed away from anything that has to do with trouble. Anything has to do with trouble. And that is just it. So that is me. The other person is different. So, my dear, if you have the means to relocate, if you're not doing well wherever you are, you have the means to relocate, I honestly do it. Do it. Don't listen to anyone. Just go. Forget about Mr. A or Mrs. A or B or whatever. Just look at you. View yourself as a different species of human being, as with different destiny, different life paths, and that is the reality. There are so many people in this country that have spent 3-4 decades. So many of them that have been here, that were here even before us, that today, some of them, you see them coming to ask for, they come to ask for one help or the other, borrow money this, borrow money that, I need loan this, I need loan, whatever. Some of them, they are still struggling. While that is life for you. It doesn't make us better than them. No one is just God's grace. That's why I said grace are in measures. And there are people who are far, far better than us as well, that probably we were here before them. That is just the reality of life. So don't get discouraged. Just follow your instinct. Don't listen to people. Sometimes, if not most time, just shut your ears to people, to what you hear, to the voices around you, and just pray about it. The most important thing, that's the most important thing. Kneel, go before God, pray about it. Let the Holy Spirit guide you. And if you are not a believer, you're not a Christian, you don't believe in all that stuff or whatever, follow your instinct. Follow your instincts and just take that risk. Take that risk. If you fail, you fail. At least you have that fulfillment that you tried and you failed. And who knows? It could be a breakthrough for you. So just do that. Forget about, shut your eyes to everything you see on social media. People trying to discourage you. It is difficult to pay rent. It is difficult to do this. You cannot or whatever. I watched one recently. People that say people in Canada, people are relocating back home from Canada or whatever. That things are not easy. It wasn't as easy as they thought. It's not an easy. It's not easy as they thought or whatever. I said, for God's sake, anybody, if you are in Canada or in the US or whatever, and you decided to go back home because because you feel things are not what you thought it was. I don't know, except probably you have when you're going home, you have something to fall back to. If you have something to fall back to, beautiful. There's no point. There's no problem doing that. But if you don't have anything to fall back to, you want to still go on and still start managing or whatever, and you decided to, because no matter what, if you are managing in Nigeria, why don't you remain where if you were managing in Nigeria and you came to Canada or US or UK or whatever, and you decided to go back because things are not, you want to go back to that management, why don't you manage it? You get, yeah, there are pressures. Yeah, the pressures are everywhere. Yeah, but why don't you prefer to manage here where you have relatively comfortable life, and at least struggle to pay your bills and whatever, and as a result help people back home as well. So no matter what, you will always be better than people back home. Not everyone, be better than everyone. There are people back home that are really making money. They may not be, they are the ones that are rich, and some of them, they may not be rich, they are on the average, but they are still very comfortable. They live a comfortable life. So you may not be better than everybody, but the problem is that you will be better than yourself when you were back home. That is just it. So please, if you are here and you are hearing me, you're watching this video, hold on. Just hold tight. Don't go back. If you want to go back, if you have something better back home, that's good. Or something relative back home, that's okay. But if you do not have anything good enough to take you back home, whatever you are, just hold on. Just hold on. Keep doing. I won't say keep doing what you're doing. Try other stuff. So life is not as difficult as people project it to be abroad. Like in the US, for God's sake, we have so many Nigerians who are just doing I call them lazy man's job. Especially this issue of what do you call it? Not health. Yeah, it's part of healthcare job. Assisted living or whatever. What do you call it? Where you take care of elderly, disabled, people that are incapable of taking care of themselves, people that probably are not fully well mentally, or other stuff or whatever. So assisted living, I think that is what they call. That's what it's called. That you see able men. I just consider I consider such job for it's supposed to be meant for women. But men, come to the US and see Nigerians, and not just Nigerians, Africans generally, men, able-bodied men, good-looking men that are supposed to be doing real masculine jobs. They are supposed to be doing much better jobs or whatever. They're doing this job because this job, I call it a lazy man's job, because all you do is just go there, sit down from maybe 8 hours or more, whatever. Just sit down from morning to night. Just sit down, just fiddle with your phone. Sit down one place all day. I consider that a lazy man's job. So tell me, is that a difficult job? That's what I'm saying. So you can as well come into the US and do that same job. It's not a difficult job, for God's sake. It is not all job. I don't know why people find the right pleasure in discouraging others from taking bold steps. So you can as well come and do that job. and whatever. So that is just there are, just as we have difficult jobs, we have jobs that are so simple. So it is everywhere, for God's sake. There is, look, no one should discourage you. If you have the means, do it. Leave your I would say comfort zone. Leave your troubled zone and look for a comfort zone. And that is just the reason why I made this. I hope I have spoken with someone. I hope someone has gotten the message. It's important, please. Let's learn to be individualistically minded. If Mr. A is facing this because he or she did that, it doesn't mean that you will face the same thing. Go follow that path. You will be surprised to be a different ball game. Because God deals with us individually. Deals with us individually. Don't listen to people. Just do it. And this is my angle.